With patch 11.1.7, World of Warcraft released a questline that became a laughingstock, the Legacy of Aerithor. It was garbage. And how did Blizzard respond? By putting out, in my opinion, one of their most well put together patches of recent years. Ghosts of Koresh is here, 11.2 is good, some would even say great. Hello everyone, I am Jmulls, and we have a lot to talk about. Let's start by going over the story and the characters for this patch. World of Warcraft has really leaned in the direction of focusing and emphasizing its world and its story more than ever before. And we have had some growing pains over the last couple of years, but I think they really found their stride in the War Within. I thought 11.0 was really good, I really enjoyed Undermined, and while I thought Legacy of Aerithor in a lot of ways was just terrible, with bad writing, bad characterization, bad pacing, horrific cutscene direction, 11.2 is none of that. It's a continuation of the storytelling prowess we've seen from Blizzard over the course of the War Within. In a lot of ways, continuing to improve. Just so long as we ignore 11.1.7. Koresh is an absolutely breathtaking zone that really reminds me of the grandeur and scale of August that we had back in Legion, but with a void purplish palette to it instead of the green fell palette. I think this story has quite a few pros going for it, one of which is the characters and the overall characterization. They are surprisingly well written for a WoW patch, where it feels competent across the board instead of being heavily focused in on one or two characters. I think the ethereals themselves have really interesting backgrounds to explore. I think the state of Koresh overall is interesting as well, and has been an absolute pleasure to experience. And on top of that, we're getting backstory and actual lore revealed in interesting ways that we've been building up to ever since the Void Elves were introduced. We're actually getting good Locust Walker lore, good Xal'atath lore. Illyria is kind of there. If you are a fan of Netherstorm back in the Burning Crusade, I can imagine this patch is everything you've wanted. Combine the good characterization with overall good pacing, and also Xal'atath just being a gem to have there. She is a level 99 instigator. It's so funny sometimes. But I don't think it's like a perfect patch, narratively speaking, or anything. I think they push you into Koresh really fast. I think they could have teased you in a little bit more, because it does kind of feel as if they wanted the supplementary media they've been releasing in anticipation for Ghosts of Koresh to really give you that narrative connection going from Undermined going into 11.2, whereas in-game you log on and it's just a matter of you have one quest and you teleport to Koresh, go, go, go. It's really fast, and I would have appreciated some more foreplay. And because the pacing in the early part of this patch's story is so lightning quick, it's easy to get lost in all the nomenclature they throw at you, all the backstory and lore that you may not be familiar with if you haven't been paying attention to all the ethereal and Locust Walker and Venari lore. It can kind of feel like, oh, Tazavesh is just here and we're now on an alien planet. Cool. But considering that, my god, do I like Koresh. I love the eco-domes. I've always loved that aesthetic. It was one of the most unique elements in World of Warcraft's vast art palette, and they're really turning it up to 11 here. And I think while the story can be a little bit confusing early on with all the names and backstory they throw at you, they do explore it bit by bit over the course of the narrative, and when taken into account with the good writing and pacing that is here when you get into it, I think they sufficiently elaborate on all of these elements to make it engrossing and engaging. I think this is, so far at least, one of their best efforts at telling a story in the game. That's saying something considering I really enjoyed 11.0 and 11.1. And I would love to tell you that the story ends off on a banging note and is a great lead into future patches to tie it all into midnight. We have to talk about the issue Blizzard keeps running into and shooting themselves in the foot with for no reason. Time gating. Why in the name of Christ are we time gating the story in 2025 for World of Warcraft? I can't think of a single cohesive and appropriate argument in support of time gating the story like this. It only creates frustration and annoyance when it doesn't need to be there. Why do you put the point, the break point, right at the part where it gets the most interesting? When I'm the most invested in what's going on, just allow me to experience the story of Ghosts of Koresh at my own pace. Don't tell me it's because you want this to lead into the raid seamlessly. The dungeon takes place after the raid and is currently available, and is also a massive spoiler for what happens. I thought the dungeon was just going to be a nice little side story. No, it's like a big spoiler for key characters in this story and what's going to happen to them on reset. And I get it, you want the dungeon to be available right now so people can do Mythic Zeros. I get that. Gameplay-wise, I think that makes the most sense. However, we can't use this argument in support of time gating the story when the raid itself is not going to come out until the season. Thank God I started this patch later in the week so I didn't have to wait that long for reset. So tomorrow when it becomes available, I can just dive right on in and not be forced to wait a week, because that is a brutal point to end the story. And I just don't see who it benefits. If you're invested and engaged with the story, chances are you're going to want to just shotgun it and marathon it and play it at your own pace. Are we concerned if people are going to come back on reset? That's when the season comes out. That's when a bulk of the endgame content is going to be available for this patch. How little confidence do you have in your own content if you feel the need to delay the story? They keep doing this, and I don't understand why. I don't see who it benefits. It just makes the story jarring. I wanted to experience it at my own pace, and now I have to be forced by Blizzard for no reason to wait until reset to finish the story. I'm not watching a weekly show here. I'm just trying to play a video game. And like, the range of reactions for the time gating is going to be either it frustrates you and annoys you, or you don't care. I don't see this enhancing anyone's experience here. So why are we doing it? Who is this for? Who does this benefit? It's going to be time gated either way because the raid doesn't come out with the launch of the patch. It comes out with the launch of the season. So you're going to have a time gate either way. Why not just allow people to experience the chapters at their own pace week 1 instead of delaying the final 2 chapters for when all the other content comes out and people want to do their seasonal grinds? There's no part of this that makes sense to me. And I would personally ask Blizzard to stop with this time gating for no reason when we get into midnight. You're trying to tell a cohesive and engaging narrative. I think the quality is there. Continue to get better, absolutely, but where we're at right now compared to where we used to be is a world of difference, quite literally, because we're in Koresh. But the story is really good. It's engaging. By the way, I love the music top to bottom. In this patch in particular, it's so dang good. And I found myself just listening to the soundtrack because it was so mesmerizing, or just looking out at the vistas and the visuals that you have available to you in this patch, because everything about this experience is engaging and fun and engaging. And I said engaging twice there for good reason. Stop shooting yourself in the foot though for no reason. You either don't care about it or it just annoys you. It does no one any good. But let's talk about something that is pretty good, the dungeon. I like it. I don't have too much experience with dungeoning in modern World of Warcraft, but I thought the bosses were engaging, I liked them, they were simple, I thought they were well telegraphed. Visually, things were pretty clear, had some interesting mechanics, like the first boss using the pools to slow down the mites before they could get to the boss, or the second boss aiming the warp stalker thing at the boss to reduce its shields, or the third boss moving towards your like mirror image before it got targeted by AoEs. Sure, it was just a Mythic Zero, but I thought it was pretty fun, and I liked the story that was being told there. Again, it's a massive spoiler for what's happening in the actual story at that point, because it's being told out of order, because the story flow is supposed to be the chapters of the quests, then the raid, then the dungeon, but we don't have the raid yet, we don't have the final 2 chapters of the story, so it's like we read the first couple of chapters of the book and then just skipped to the final one. I mean, it makes me more interested in what's going to happen because I didn't think they would go there narratively or with those characters. Makes me feel as if they are willing to have a little bit of spice and not just play it as safe as humanly possible, which makes me more interested in the future potential of this story. But also, don't get it twisted. We don't have the season yet, but this is still a War Within patch. You have your world quest, you have your dungeon, you have your story, you can do some delves. I still need to do the Eco Dome event, but it is still World of Warcraft The War Within. If you weren't satisfied with the state of The War Within or the content that The War Within has, chances are this patch isn't going to move the needle for you, maybe except for the narrative, because I think the story is really dang good. But if you like what modern World of Warcraft provides you content-wise, if you like what The War Within feels like overall, chances are you're going to like 11.2 because it's more of that. Personally, that is enough for me because I do like The War Within. I think it's an engaging expansion. I like the systems at play. Are they perfect? No. But I like the overall direction World of Warcraft is going in. I am more excited than ever before for Midnight. Is World of Warcraft a perfect game? Not by a long shot. Was The War Within a massive improvement over the last few expansions? In my opinion, absolutely. Especially story-wise. And I think, again, so long as we ignore 11.1.7 Legacy of Aether, we just forget that ever happened, I think the expansion started off on a strong note and has only gotten better. World of Warcraft 11.2 is more World of Warcraft, for better and for worse. Narratively, I think they are continuing to hone their craft, they're getting better at characterization, they're getting better at telling a story in the game. But it wouldn't be Blizzard if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot for no reason at all. Telling the story out of order feels very awkward in-game, and to be fair, the time gating is annoying, but I think it's really annoying this go around because the story is so interesting and I was so engaged with what was going on and I wanted to find out more. So in a way, there's a silver lining there, but I think this is a good patch, a really good patch, and a great sign of things to come, hopefully. I'm more excited than ever before for Midnight. I cannot wait for Gamescom. I cannot wait to see what they announce for the next couple of patches for World of Warcraft. Legion Remix. Do we get a new Demon Hunter specialization? Do we get that or not? What do we get in Midnight? What about housing? I think the horizon is particularly bright for World of Warcraft, and I'm excited. And if you want to join me on this journey of ours, leave a like and subscribe so that you can be up to date with all things World of Warcraft. Follow me on TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, Jmulls G. I have a Discord in the description down below. Leave a comment down below with what has been your favorite part of the patch. The music, has it been a character, a story moment, the overall story? Did you really like the new dungeon? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions and hear your perspectives. And guys, I love MMOs, and I play both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. And if you want to hear my thoughts on the current state of Final Fantasy XIV, you should check out this video right here. Stay safe, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again!